What's up, YouTubers and fellow riders? The Kim is back in the garage again, cooking up another DIY for you on how to relocate this MF. uh, not too long ago I had some issues with some wires frying, and that was due to the double R, or the regulator rectifier, burning up on me and frying my harness. Uh, I'm pretty anal about, connectors and whatnot and everything looking stock into its original. So I went out and I purchased, a brand new harness from a yard somewhere out of state somewhere. So I'm talking about the complete harness for the whole entire motorcycle, just to cut off this plug. Okay. And, did a great job putting it in here, and, took my time. Well, the other night I'm chilling over here at bike night, and guess what? Rectifier fried again. Well, actually, this rectifier is still good, but what fried was the actual wire. Now, because they're in such an extremely poor location, they don't get much ventilation, and as you know, they tend to fry up. And when they fry, it's not pretty. So here's the brand new connector that I bought for, well, I paid $100 for the whole harness, and just to have this one connector. And here's the end result of it frying. So when it fried that wire, it must have been frying for some time, because this is 12 gauge wire right here, and look what the heat and corrosion has done to that wire. That's 12 gauge wire. That's pretty thick wire. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to relocate this and solve this problem, so that you can keep this portion of it and this portion of the double R rectifier cool. Today we're going to be moving, I'm going to be rewiring this up, and I'm actually going to cut it from here and extend these wires up to the front of the bike to where I'm going to be relocating that rectifier. I'm going to be using 12 gauge wire, 10 gauge wire all the way through for my new one. I'm also going to be relocating the wires for the stator as well. I'm going to be running that to the front. So with that said, we are going to go ahead and remove this, and we're going to swing around the bike over here, and I'm going to show you where I'm going to put it. Now, I don't know why Suzuki didn't think about this before, including with their newer models, about keeping this thing cool since it gets so hot. But we're going to be putting this bad boy right in the front of what? The radiator. Wow, what a great idea, where the most cool air comes to the bike. So we're going to be using actually this location. I'm going to show you how to make a bracket that actually works for here, so you can mount it to this location using this bolt. And this is a pretty simple process. It only took me about maybe 30 minutes to bend up this bracket, and I'm going to be showing you the materials as well that I can use, but it's actually going to be sitting right here. So I'm going to go ahead and push pause and move to the workbench and show you what I got going on. Alright, so I'm back at the workbench, and here's the previous wire that the previous owner installed. And I guess he must have had the same issue with the rectifier burning up and frying his wires. So these are the connectors that I used with his wire, and as you can see, they're pretty badly burnt up. It's a pretty good indicator that there's a whole lot of heat going on, heat transfer going on here. And this is, like I said, he's using your 12 gauge wire here, and which is connected to the plug. Now, good thing that the plug didn't fry on this end. I mean, yeah, you can hardwire it in, and that might be the best route to go, is to get rid of these connectors altogether and hardwire everything in, to alleviate the plug burning issue. Like I said, that's what I'm going to be doing on the back side of the motorcycle. This is actually the connector for the stator, and I simply just cut off the plug and butt connected together. I'm kind of curious to see how much heat actually transferred inside here, but I'm going to be upgrading to a thicker gauge wire, and like I said, I'm using 10 gauge, and because of the whole issue with the way that these wires corroded with the heat and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and really put some effort into this, and make sure it doesn't happen again, because I mean, this can get quite costly. Your wires fry, your stator fries, your rectifier fries. I mean, that's a pretty big deal right there. And you're looking for a good rectifier, about 100, maybe $150, maybe for a MOSFET rectifier. But at any rate, you want to go ahead and do the best job that you possibly can and use good quality wiring in this area. I took my time. I tinned the wires up right here for a good connection so that I don't get that corrosion going on at the tips when they do get connected. I went ahead and wired this portion of it up for the power and ground. Now I also went ahead and I got these parts over this wiring at my local O'Reilly's auto parts store, and I went ahead and picked up a couple rolls, and it's about $7 for 8 feet of this cable, each color. So good thing is one roll for this one with this bike at $7 will get you 2 of these. All right, 2 leads off of this, and then the blue one. I'm not sticking with the standard colors because when I transfer the wires to the front, I need to know where they go at the plug on the stator side. So I needed to have some type of identification, and you're probably gonna want to do the same thing too. I do have 2 yellow leads. This is gonna be my bottom lead right here, the blue one, and I'm gonna use these 2 for yellow. But I also marked this wire all the way through with black lines to make sure that I can easily identify it when I connect it up to the voltage rectifier or double R at the front end of the motorcycle. So we want to make sure you get all the plugs correct. I mean, there is, according to the diagram that I have here, you need to really pay attention to where these things go, because it does matter according to that IC right there. So pay close attention if you are going to do this mod to where you route these wires and make sure they get back into the right connectors on the voltage rectifier side. So here's the voltage rectifier side, and I'm good thing this thing didn't burn up. It was kind of corroded in here, and I cleaned it up a little bit with some sandpaper and whatnot, and some contact cleaner. Cleaned out all the burnt plastic that was going on right here. So at any rate, let's get to it. Let me show you how to make this bracket. Push and pause. Alright guys, back at it. So this is what you're going to be making. It's basically just a nice little L bracket. There you go, L bracket. And this stock right here is perfect for what you need it for. What you're going to do is take yourself down to Home Depot, buy yourself this punch flat bar zinc plate steel. These holes actually line up perfectly with the holes in the rectifier, so no drilling needed. You just need to bend it up. Alright, so I'll show you that in a bit. So I went ahead and took the liberty of writing down my measurements for you, so that there's no guessing there's no guessing at how it is or how you need to measure these bends out. So this first bend right here, I got it at, and this is the way yours is going to come. It's going to come cut in half like this. So from this point here, you are looking at 1.2 inches or 3.51 millimeters, however you choose to measure it. But when you bend this, you want to make sure that you try and bend as precisely as you can. I used my vise here and a good old trusty hammer to make some sharp bends on it as I put it in there. So you're going to do the same. So you're going to make your first bend right here, which makes this portion of it right here. As you can see, the hole was right here. I cut it out so I could slide my bolt through and fixate it wherever I needed to, if I needed to make adjustments. So you can do the same thing as well. So that's what you're going to do right here. You're going to end up probably cutting this out, or if you're good, you can actually, if you're good on your bends, you can actually use this bolt to slide the fan mounting bolt through here. Your second bend is going to be 2 inches long. So from here to here, you're looking at 2 inches or 50.8 millimeters, however you choose to use your measurements. And the last one here, after you make this last bend, which is going to be this one here, is going to be at, oh, that's what I was saying right there, I'm sorry. The remainder of it is actually just excess. The rectifier is not actually this long. It depends on how low you want to drop it down in front of that radiator to pick up the most cool air. I really didn't want mine seen too much, so I kind of have mine up high. As you can see, the rectifier sits from here to here, and the bolts actually line up perfectly on here. So let's see if I can get a good angle with one hand here. So the bolts actually line up nicely. There we go. As you can see, my fingers in that one right there, and that one right there. So if you get everything aligned right, you're good to go. As you can see, here's all the excess that I'm going to cut off. Cut it off from here, so you won't be able to see any of the bracketry hanging. All you're going to just specifically see is just this right here. So that's that portion of it. And I'm going to go ahead and now that you have a good picture of this, I will get a nice little overhead here. There we go. So you can see my measurements and the bends that you need to make. Okay. And here's the overall result. So we're going to take this piece back over here to the motorcycle so I can show you exactly how it fits in there. And there's the mounting bolt. So give me a second while I mount this up and show you how it works. Alright, YouTubers, so there it is, all mounted up. Now this bolt right here is a 10 millimeter, so I would use your trusty gear wrench and loosen this bolt. Slide your new bracketry right in there. Make sure the fan metal housing sits on top of this piece, keeps it in place, and then you're just going to crank down on this bolt with your gear wrench and lock it into place. But as you can see, it fits really well. And that is the new home for the rectifier, which will hopefully keep it cooler than the location over at the rear end. Now, as you know, when you sit on the bike, you can feel that heat coming up from the bottom of the bike, from the engine. It's cooking your ass, it's cooking your leg. You can only imagine the amount of voltage that's traveling through there, which is probably like, what, 65 volts going into the rectifier. And yeah, those wires are going to get extremely hot. And mixed in with that heat from the engine, you can almost guarantee that you will be encountering the same problem if you don't handle it soon, or if you haven't experienced it just yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and wire everything up, and I got some soldering to do and some butt connecting and whatnot, and some wire extensions, and I'll give you the final pictures when I'm finished. Push and pause. Alright, so took me a while, probably about an hour or so, but I got my wires back in here right now. Taped everything up. Everything looks good. Moved the stock wiring location from here to the front of the tank. So we kind of traveled down this path, went down here. I made sure I black tape everything to make it look like stock, so you don't see any wires. Travel down here. You can see the wire. I'm gonna end up tucking it behind here. And it comes down here. Now I could have took this path up here, going up in this direction, but instead I went across. It was a lot easier just to go across right here. And you can still see my stator connector right here, still reachable. There's a lot of space right here, so I just went around this route. I'm going to end up, zip tying it to here and moving on to the other side. So I'm going to come around on this side over here. And you can see how the wire comes through here, and again, I'm going to zip tie it down right here and make it so it's not so flimsy. But the wires end up coming out through the side right here, and they're going to meet my new stock location. As for the rectifier, the double R, here it is right here on the mount, ready to go. Just use a couple of bolts to hold it in place, and like I told you, these holes were just lined up perfectly, so it worked out perfectly using this material. So I'm going to go ahead and mount it into that location right there and show you what it looks like in a minute. Push and pause. Alright, YouTubers and fellow riders, finishing up on this final part. Went ahead and wired everything up and connected all my new connections to the rectifier. I'm probably going to zip tie this somewhere right here, wrap it up with some black tape so it doesn't get wet or whatnot. To give you an idea what it looks like, let's see if I can get over here. And, well, I don't know if you can be able to see it through here. Oh, there it is. So there's that. There's my little LED in the way, little lights. But there you go. Just started her up, getting the 14 volts, 14.5 volts at the meter from the battery. So that means the stator is working, and that means the rectifier is working. So I guess that little short was the only problem that happened. The wire burned up and caused the wire to fry, and didn't charge my battery. So before I let you guys go, wanted to show you something right here. If you weren't smart enough to do this in the beginning, I want to show you this right now. So this is the stator wire, and this is your rectifier plug. I'm sorry, your stator plug and your rectifier plug. Now, if you weren't smart enough to trace your wires back, I kind of drew this out for you so that you can go back and have something to look at, just in case you overlooked one step. So here's your plug, looking at it. Okay, so this plug up at the top is going to come around and touch this prong in the rectifier. This one right here, I mark mine as blue because that's the wire that I'm using here. So blue went around and it comes to this side. And this one right here, the yellow, I use yellow. You can use whatever color you like. Comes to the middle. And of course, this is your red and this is your negative. Okay, so that's something a little extra if you guys kind of missed that step when you were trying to expand, when you're making your leash for your expansion cable. So there she is, all set, all ready to go. I just got to button her up real quick, put everything back together on that end, and I'm set. One last thing before I let you go, maybe I'll make this in another video, but while I was down and I was actually at work the other day, and this bike left me stranded, and I didn't have my tools with me, and that was the biggest mistake of my life. I couldn't get to the battery to take the battery home. Had a ride home, but couldn't get to the battery, so I had to drive all the way back home and pick up my tools, go all the way back, undo the seat, pull out the battery, and bring it back home and charge it overnight. So for future reference, I'll probably make a YouTube tutorial about this as well. This is a battery post extender, and I'm actually going to place it right here. Okay, so that if I need a jump or a quick charge, you know, whatever the case may be, I have access to this right here. And this is going to be my power, and I put this right here to be my ground when I need it. Just clip on it here, and I can jump my bike at any time. So maybe I'll be getting back to you on that one. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be using this connector or not. I might just order one off of eBay, and that kind of sits out of the way right there. But you can leave it there and connect your negative to that one and your positive to here. So no more getting stuck. And I could probably get a jump from a car if I had jumper cables. So something to think about. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I will be getting back to you with this project soon. Hit like if this helped you out, and let me know what you think in the comments. As always, see you next problem.